Hey, Treasure History. Today's essential question is, how did Buddhism spread throughout Asia? You don't need your notebook today, so don't copy down the question. Instead, you just need the paper that you have in front of you that has this question at the top. When it's time to follow along on that paper, I'll let you know. Yesterday, we learned about yoga, and you got to practice some. Yoga helped ancient Hindus and Buddhists get to know themselves on a deeper level. What was the purpose of this self-knowledge? By the end of class today, you'll be able to explain how the religion of Buddhism spread from India, which was where Buddha grew up, to other parts of Asia, like you see on this map. One of the major ways that Buddhism spread to new places was through trade. We know that trade is the biggest reason for cultural diffusion. Remember that it was difficult to cross the Himalayan mountains, which is why you see the path of this map, which was the direction of the spread of Buddhism, like the key tells us, shows that this actually kind of went in a curve when it spread. Well, the mountains, the Himalayan mountains, were right there. That should give you a clue. Why do you think that the spread of Buddhism took this path at first? So besides trade, another big way that Buddhism was spread was through the wishes of powerful rulers. Today we're going to focus on one of those great rulers today. His name was King Ashoka. This is where you're going to need to start following along on your passage. Please follow along with your pencil because I'm going to ask you to stop and annotate on the paper. Your paper is part of your Prove It grade today, so please make sure that your annotations are detailed. You've circled keywords, underlined key points, and wrote central idea statements when I've asked you to. Let's start with the first paragraph. Okay, look at your paper, please. So during the early part of his rule, Ashoka expanded his empire to the south and east through a series of bloody wars. He was known throughout India for his fierce skills as a warrior. He successfully grew India's territory, but he killed many, many people in the process. Please pause and underline that sentence. That tells us the detail that we need to know about King Ashoka. He was violent, he killed many people, but at the same time, he's known for making India's land greater. Let's keep going. One day, after a particularly violent and bloody battle, he found himself looking at all the bodies of soldiers he had killed, all the villages he had burned, and all the innocent civilians who were murdered. He felt a wave of guilt. He knew he didn't have to live this way. He made a decision to reject violence forever. Wow. Okay, underline that sentence about rejecting violence. That shows a turning point in Ashoka's life. Please pause your video and write a central idea statement for this paragraph. Okay, if you're hearing this, that means you should be done writing a central idea statement for the first paragraph. We're going to move on to the second paragraph. Be ready to circle keywords. Ashoka then became a Buddhist. I'm circling two words there, Ashoka and Buddhist. He believed in the Eightfold Path, and he believed in Buddhist values of love, peace, and nonviolence. As a Buddhist, he started to respect all life, and he wanted to end suffering. I'm circling that part, end suffering, because that's what we've learned about in class. He never fought another war again. He began to meditate and practice yoga. Please circle meditate and yoga because we've learned about those in class related to Buddhism. Please press pause and write a central idea statement that describes the change that Ashoka made. All right, moving on to the next paragraph. Follow along with me and be ready to annotate. Ashoka wanted all his people to follow the Buddhist path. He told his people to be kind, respectful, and behave in the right ways. He told his people to treat their servants well. Most of all, he believed it was his duty to spread the word about Buddhism. He sent missionaries northeast to other parts of Asia, to China, Japan, and Korea, to spread the teachings of Buddha. Pause your video and write a central idea statement that describes what King Ashoka did in the last paragraph. Okay, if you're hearing this, that means you should be done writing your central idea statement. Remember that that's part of your Prove It grade today. So I should really see 3 central idea statements on your paper. I should see words from class circled and key points about King Ashoka underlined. If you're missing any of those things, you need to press pause right now so that you can add them in before you turn in this paper. Now it's time to answer our essential question for today at the bottom of your paper. You can see at the bottom of your page where it says step 1 and step 2. Please pause your video and answer step 1. Then you need to copy a quote from the text. Remember, this is part of your Prove It grade, and you'll also be talking about this as soon as your video is done. Please pause and answer those questions. Go. All right, if you're hearing this, that means you're done answering step 1 and step 2. Please go back to your playlist to watch a short video about King Ashoka's life.